want to go to something real quick.
Wherever we want to go.
And I know a lot of people say, they get tired of us talking about these two things, but I want to just run this down real quick because there was a graphic put out of all of Jay-Z solo material because we put a graphic out of Nas's, and I actually did a calculation of this.
Those are gang signs.
I did a calculation of this because we had to actually add in unfinished business and best of both worlds so it could get to the number of 16. And so I had, Illmatic better than Reasonable Doubt. Then I had It Was Written better than Volume 1. Long story short, it turned out to be 8 and 8 on mine. And I think the tiebreaker for me was the fact that, A, we left off some of Nas's work. And, and most of this stuff is, I think everything except for Distant Relatives is all Nas solo work. So that was the tiebreaker for me.
No, let's not do
and not
that,
to be
though.
the unreleased stuff. Not to mention the unreleased stuff.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, like, if you really want to do it, let's just do this.
You see it on your screen?
Yeah, like, can we leave it there for a minute? I do see it right now.
Go ahead.
So let's look at it.
Let's look at it.
And first of all,
for the people that think
the stuff in that needs to go.
I think for the people. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say for the people that think that we're a Nas channel, we're showing favoritism. Here is the records right here. It's no favoritism.
These are the solo projects with what, one group project? How many group projects does Jay have on here?
We got 2 Best of Both Worlds, and we got Watch the Throne. So 3.
And so how many group projects does Nas have on here?
Distant Relatives.
Okay, so we're gonna take one of the Nas albums off and put the Firm in.
I mean, you don't even have to do that. I mean...
Oh, we don't? Oh, well, we don't. I haven't seen this yet. So let's go. Let's go album for album right quick then.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if we were just doing it straight up and down, and even though they got released at different times, it's like, Illmatic or Reasonable Doubt.
I'm going ill there.
Well, I think we know how that goes, even if you're a Reasonable Doubt fan. Okay. Mm-hmm. It Was Written or Volume 1.
I'm going It Was Written there.
You know how I feel about 97 Hove, but still.
Yeah, It Was Written's better than that.
Way better.
No, Volume 2, I'm going that over I Am.
I Am too.
Volume 3, that's over Nostradamus.
It's a sad case when you can't beat Volume 3. That's what type of album Nostradamus is. Next.
Stillmatic's better than The Dynasty.
That's a watch.
No, Stillmatic's better than The Dynasty.
Oh, you said Stillmatic. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
okay.
Stillmatic better than The Dynasty. The Blueprint.
I was looking at something wrong. I thought you were on the N album. Okay. Go ahead,
I think The Blueprint's better than The Lost Tapes.
It is, but that's not fair to The Lost Tapes.
I think Godson's better than Best of Both Worlds.
Well, we all know that.
I think that The Blueprint 2 is better than Street's Disciple.
Pause. That's a wash because both of these albums are subpar.
I think that there's just more notable work on The Blueprint 2.
Like what? There's not a Thief's theme on The Blueprint 2.
You can say that You Don't Know remixes on there. You can say Hobie Baby's on there. You got Excuse Me Miss on there. You also have the actual song, The Blueprint 2. You got Some People Hate It. I Show You How to Do This, son. No, it is better. I mean, come on, man. And I love Thief's theme, but that's showing favoritism, man. It's just more stuff.
Oh, it's got Thief's theme. It's got Just a Moment. It's got Suicide Bounce with Busta Rhymes. It's got Streets Disciple against Nazareth Sajid. It's got Rest of My Life with A. Marie, I believe. Like, no, that shit's pretty. No, you got Know My Style on there. Yeah, like,
I'll show you how to do this.
Going. I mean, I think both of the albums are subpar, Mike. But what I'm trying to tell you is that, like, yeah, like it's a mid for both of them. Like, ain't neither one of the albums even.
I agree with that, but I just think that The Blueprint 2 is just better. I mean, it got Excuse Me.
Okay, that's. I mean, you want to know what? I mean, you can have that, but it's like they both some like 3s out of 5s if you really want to know the truth.
No, I think we all know that. And now the Black Album's better than N.
Yeah, everything better than
that. Let's see. I think Hip Hop Is Dead is better than Unfinished Business.
Definitely is, and that's unfortunate because you don't have to be too hard.
Distant Relatives is better than Kingdom Come.
Damn right.
I think that American Gangster is better than Life Is Good.
That's a wash, Mike. That's a wash. That's a wash.
I want to see a poll on that. I mean, I know a lot of people feel like
we might have to Patreon that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Patreon in that because if you think American Gangster is better than Life is Good, then we're going to have to bring them out.
I do think it is, but I know people hold Life is Good extremely high. So, Jay Short with the super chat
I don't even hold Life is Good as extremely high as other people do, and I would tell you that that's a wash, Mike. Actually, I probably play American Gangster more than I play Life is Good, but those albums are comparable, and it's a wash.
You got the Rock Boys on there.
The highs might be higher on American Gangster, but from beginning to end, it's not a better album.
Where does the American Gangster slip up at?
I mean, it doesn't start off that strong, Mike. It really doesn't pick up steam till the Rock Boys.
I think that the only record that might slip up on is Hello Brooklyn in the beginning, but I think Hello Brooklyn's even kind of dope.
It's not, and No Hook is just cool, Mike. It's
No
just
Hook
dope.
Is dope, man.
It's just dope, Mike. That's what I'm saying. It's not like it's a classic record. It's not better than Locomotive. That's what I'm saying. It's not better than Locomotive. Right.
American Dream is not better than Locomotive? Yeah, we might have the Patreon.
Yeah, we might have the Patreon.
Jay Short with the super chat says, we all want Foxy versus Kim. Huh. You're a big Foxy fan. I am too. But who would you take in that?
I don't want to take Foxy. Foxy didn't put out enough work to fuck with Kim on the long end. Like at their peak, like if you're giving me a cutoff time, it's like the cutoff time is 2002. It's like, yes. So I'm like keep going.
What are y'all thinking?
Kim got that, like, put your lighters up. Like Kim got that shit. Like, how about this? When Kim is doing put your lighters up and doing magic shit and shit, like Foxy's not even anywhere around at that point. You feel me?
It'd be very difficult for Foxy. For the longevity of Kim.
That's what I mean. I don't want to disrespect. How about this? Foxy versus Latifah might be more fair about the brevity, but the peak work done while there.
Looks like the people in here are saying that American Gangster's better. And maybe that's just what I'm seeing. But we might need to do a poll on that.
You want to know what? Yeah, we might have to Patreon that. We're washing that because you wouldn't give me the wash on another one. You already took one J record.
We'll wash it, I guess.
Yeah, you took
one
J record.
But you know how I feel. All right, so you're saying it's a wash. I think it's better. That would make it 6-6 right now, right? I think the Blueprint 3 is better than Nasir.
No, hold on. No. We can't be tied because we just washed something and I already let you slide. Yeah.
No, I'm saying you said it's a wash, but I'm saying if it were me picking, I would say that it was better. But if it was better, it's a tie. If it's not, it's 6-5. I mean 6-4. Excuse me. No, 6-5. I'm sorry.
Oh no, we're tied.
Okay. Yeah. Blueprint 3 is better than Nasir.
I agree.
Okay.
I agree.
Now, Watch the Throne is better than KD1.
No, it's not.
Oh goodness. Come on, man.
No, it's not.
It is.
Y'all stop. Every time we do this, they're like, Watch the Throne is a classic. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, name 5 classic songs, and then y'all name 3 classic songs and 2 good songs, and we get stuck. And y'all call it a classic. We can't even get the 5 classic songs. Mike, Watch the Throne. How about this? Watch the Throne is the album while I want to start talking about what a classic rap album sounds like, because a classic rap album does not sound like this. How can you look
Somebody
at
said Patreon that one ASAP.
How can you look at something like A Reasonable Doubt or a Blueprint and have the audacity to put something like Watch the Throne within the same realm or spectrum by calling it a classic? It's got 5 great records on it.
I think we need to Patreon that one too.
No, we don't.
We do. Because people are saying so many different things.
We need to get it together. No, we need to get it together. Watch the Throne's not a classic.
I think it's better than KD.
Mike, Watch the Throne on a good day is a 4 out of 5. On a good day.
I think it's better than KD.
It's too much cocaine, and it's too much of Ye running the show, and Jay-Z's running behind Ye. Why is Ye out rapping Jay on this album?
Because it's Ye's album.
It's a 4 out of 5 on a good day, Mike. On a good day, it's a 4 out of 5. Y'all be trying to make it seem like Murder to Excellent is like some epic shit. It's not. It's a dope hip hop record.
Murder to Excellence is pretty fire.
There you go. Here we go.
It
with
is.
This bullshit,
it's one of the best records on there.
Right, that's why the album's not a classic, because if Murder to Excellence one of your 5 best, Mike, how about this?
Got What You Need, you know what I'm saying? The James Brown sample, The Joy. It's a dope album,
let me get this right. Niggas sampling James Brown in the 2000s? Man, we haven't been doing that for a while.
Like, man, it's a throwback.
Since the inception.
People are saying it's better than KD1.
It's not.
And I see Watch the Throne way better.
That is a lie. That is blasphemous.
I see Watch the Throne way better. Now I see Watch the Throne's overrated. I think we need to Patreon this one. Now,
wow, I don't believe. Why do y'all love Watch the Throne so much? This shit is not that good. It's just not. And this is like, you have to understand. No, this is when I'm excited and I'm in love with Ye and Jay. Like, this isn't like me. No. I was supporting this. It's like I heard this. I was like, what the fuck is this? It's like, that's what you two guys did? It's like, this is what you did? You're better off without each other if this is what you're making together. Get 5 dope songs from anybody. Get 5 dope songs from any 2 good MCs, Mike.
I think you're being too tough on Watch the Throne.
No. If 2 guys, there's not named Jay-Z and Kanye, make this album, we don't even talk about this album outside of Niggas in Pairs.
I think we need to Patreon it. I think we do.
Definitely Patreon. So disrespectful. I don't believe we Patreon in this bullshit.
And so KD2 is better than what's it called? Holy Grail. Yeah, that's what it's called. Sorry.
Everything's better than Holy Grail. Watch the Throne's better than Holy Grail. That's how bad Holy Grail is.
And Magic is better than 444. So even by my count, and that's me giving American Gangster over Life is Good, and me obviously giving Watch the Throne over KD1. It's 8-8. And
that's with you giving those. It's 8-8.
Yeah, it's 8-8 with me giving those, and I didn't do any washes. So
there's no Firm album or QB's Finest album in here that has Self-Conscious and Phone Tap on it.
Yeah, so there's no QB's Finest. There's no Lost Tapes 2 included, and there's no Firm album, and 15 out of these 16 are just Nas albums. So the tiebreaker in that sense, and not to mention all the unreleased stuff, got to give it to Nas. So for the people who feel like, we're showing favoritism, we're a Nas channel or whatever, that's the albums right there, right here on your screen.
Mike, I'm going to stop my Rock Nation brunch pose and pause for a second and do the Run DMC. Nigga, I told you so pose.
I mean, I got to give it to you, man. I mean, when we started this podcast, again, I had Jay over Nas for just the brevity of catalog, longevity, and just continuously getting better year after year. Those things aren't true anymore. I mean, I got to give Nas that credit. And the proof is right here.
When I used to say silly shit, but he made Phone Tap. It's like, show me where Jay can do stuff like that. People be like, oh, you nitpicking, you tripping. It's like, nah, I'm dead ass serious.
And
it's
not
like,
to mention,
show me.
Not to mention if we factor in the storytelling ability and all of that stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. Mad Max to the super chat says, Watch the Throne better than KD1, Coop. I remember when it came out, Ye and Hov owned that year. That year when I was in high school, KD1 was good, but come on. Yeah.
Otis?
Yeah. Otis? Niggas in Paris?
Hold on, Otis. Listen, Otis. Niggas in Paris. Ham. Murder to Excellent. No Church in the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one? There's one more.
The Joy.
The Joy. There we go. 6.
Got What You Need? Come on.
Maybe 7. 7. How many records on there? How many records on there?
We can Patreon it, man. There's a lot of records on there.
No. We just named the records. That's what I'm saying.
I like
this
that.
Is why I want to talk about what a
I
classic
like That's
is.
My Bitch too. Q-Tip on the beat once again.
Man, you can keep that.
LP with the super chat says Nas got higher highs and Jay got lower lows. That's debatable.
It's debatable.
Jay Short with the super chat
Jay's
says
highest is like dead presidents, like the evils, like that. It don't get too much higher.
Jay Short says Jay knows the Watch the Throne ain't classic. Why? That's why he won't do another one.
That's probably more because of Kanye, but
possibly. Yeah.
Here's what
Go ahead.
Here's what I mean. I watched a I was watching briefly, and it's one of the hip hop shows that I actually watch now, that I actually respect. I like what they do. They come across my feed, and the discussion about what a classic album is actually, being spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought up Ready to Die and how every song on Ready to Die is a classic, and that's what makes Ready to Die a classic. And I did not agree with that sentiment at all. I don't think every song on Ready to Die is a classic.
Yeah.
But Mike, and all jokes aside, but damn near every song though. And so a classic rap album to me, so I'm saying this so people understand, it's like, well, no, every song doesn't have to be a classic. But Mike, it needs to be damn near. It needs to be more than half. And I say this respectfully, Watch the Throne doesn't have that, Mike.
So you think KD1 is a classic? Because Mad Max says all the records...
I don't. I just think it's better than Watch the Throne. That's what I'm saying. It's like we're comparing a 3.5 to a 4.
Mad Max says all them records is better than KD1.
Okay, you can say that if you want to, but this is what I'm trying to say. How about this? If people are talking about KD1 or Watch the Throne like they're classics, they're both wrong. You feel what I'm saying?
And mind you, I want to say this too. I put these albums in order of the years that they came out. So we're not mixing, matching, and just picking and choosing. I put them all in order in its chronological order. So that's how Watch the Throne ended up against, KD1.
I get that. I'm going to give you an example on both sides of what makes an album a classic, where every song doesn't have to be classic. Well, Mike, you and I sit up here and talk about It Was Written, and we're like, well, Black Girl Lost and Watch Them Niggas and Nas Is Coming aren't classic. But Mike, if that's the low end and every other fucking song on there sounds like it's a classic or something close to it, you feel what I'm saying? Mike, let's go to the blueprint right quick. When we bring up Jigga That Nigga, Hola Ho Vito, and Renegade, we're like, well, he didn't have to do that. Because, Mike, almost every other song outside of those 3 songs is what, Mike?
Classic. But, some people will tell you Renegade's a classic.
No. People need to understand this. It's not like he's just operating on some okay level or some mid-level outside of those songs that aren't classic. It's like, no, on a classic rap album, about 75 to 85% of the material is epic. It's classic.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me that Watch the Throne is that.
Watch the Throne was a moment. Now,
you can say that it's a moment, Mike. Plenty of people have moments and don't make classics.
I think where you differ on Watch the Throne, and I'm there too, somewhat. I'm looking at the people and their reaction, and maybe I'm like taking a step back, like maybe I'm tripping. But I think you and I see Jay-Z for who he is and Kanye for who he is, and feel like them two coming together should have been a better album than what was produced.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's where we're coming from it. And I think that the people who hold it high are just listening to the album as the album it is. You know what I mean?
They need to come again.
Because everything you said was like them two coming together and this is what they had. Jay-Z chasing behind Kanye. Well, maybe if we look at the album as an album and not even think about the personnel, we might view it differently. I don't know.
I won't do it though. Who did they give us? What year was that? I want people need to understand what year it is this album is dropping. And y'all did this. It's like, no, it's not even within the whiff or the breadth of either one of their. How about this? If this album was a classic, you wouldn't. It's not either one of their top 4 albums. How is it a classic? Think about this. There are 4 solo albums from each one of the individuals that got together and did this project. That's literally leaps and bounds better off the top of your dome than this project. How is it a classic?
Somebody might tell you that Watch the Throne is better than Volume 2. That could be said.
Who's walking around saying stuff like that?
Someone could say that. Nas the GOAT with the super chat says, do a versus with these 2 albums right now and see who wins.
Mike, Jay has more classic shit on Volume 1 than he has on Watch the Throne. You understand that? He doesn't even talk about Volume 1. There's more classic songs on Volume 1 than on Watch the Throne. Mike, is Imaginary Players not a classic song?
Did Volume 1's 25th anniversary come up yet?
It's coming.
Yeah, he's gonna do something special for that, I'm sure.
Mike, is Imaginary Players a classic song?
It is.
From Jay-Z?
It is.
Is Rhyme No More in 1,000,001 Questions a classic song from Jay-Z?
It is.
How about Streets Is Watching, Mike?
It is.
How about Where I'm From?
It is.
Okay. Who You With's on there, Mike?
I'm not a big fan of Who You With, but I feel you.
Friend of 498, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah. Real Niggas Do Real Things with Too Short is on there. Face Off with Sauce Money is on there.
Well, I mean, there's a big drop off.
Rap Game, Crack Game. Mike, Primo. Rap Game, Crack Game with Primo's on there.
Primo
You Must
do
Love
that.
Me with Kelly Price. Is You Must Love Me not a classic, Mike, where he talks about shooting his own brother?
I don't
When people
think
talk about Jay, just talk about hustling. It's like he never talks about the other side. You Must Love Me on Volume 1. There's more classic shit on Volume 1 than Watch the Throne. And most people don't even have Volume 1 in most people of Jay-Z's top 4 or 5 albums usually. How is Watch the Throne a classic when it's not even Volume 1 level?
I think Watch the Throne's better than Volume 1.
I just named the songs that are on Volume 1. You show me the song list that's better than that. That's what I'm saying. It's like you're saying that, Mike. Listen to the songs that I just named. Show me. That's Jay. That's 97 Hope. 1,000,001 Rhyme No More. Imaginary Players. Streets Is Watching. Friend of 498. Who You With. Face Off. Rap Game, Crack Game. You Must Love Me. Where I'm From. No, it's not better. It's not even better than Volume 1. That's why I be trying to tell niggas, like, that shit's not even Volume 1. Like, keep that shit.
No. Hold on. I want to put this in context. The top 4 you named, yes. But there was a big drop off after that. And Rap Game, Crack Game,
no, Where I'm From. I said Where I'm From, and You Must Love Me last. You must be tripping.
No. You said 1,000,001. You said Imaginary Players.
Streets Is Watching.
What's that?
Streets Is Watching.
Streets Is Watching, right.
First of all, that right there is better than everything on Watch the Throne.
Streets
How about
Is Watching. Where I'm
Good
From.
night.
Where I'm From. Those are 4. And then where else?
You Must Love Me. That's 5, Mike. You Must Love Me, Where I'm From, and those 3. That's 5. That's 5 classics. It's not even a conversation.
Okay. All right. Mad Max
Watch
to the Super Chat says,
Watch the Throne have 5 songs that are just classic, just off the top like that, without the other work behind it. That's what I mean. So if we're comparing Watch the Throne to Volume 1 and Jay don't even talk about Volume 1, what does that tell you about Watch the Throne?
But we're talking about a whole album. You can't just take out 5 songs in a vacuum and not act like
Mike,
I know what girls like doesn't exist.
Mike, what I'm trying to say is that we don't even need to have this conversation because Watch the Throne isn't even Volume 1 level. Because at the peak, you can't even show me where the peak match. Give me 5 classic songs off Watch the Throne right now off the top of your head.
Oh, let me get to these super chats. Mad Max says, nobody calling Watch the Throne a classic. He said, no one calling Watch the Throne a classic. He said, it's just better than KD1. Inspector with the super chat says, nobody.
Watch the Throne a classic.
He said, nobody was better at pure beat making than Dilla. Facts. Jay Short with the super chat says, Watch the Throne and Volume 2 are the same. Moments, but not classic.
Hold on. I personally think Volume 1 is like very like blueprint like in the sense that it's like, well, only a few missteps. It's just he cohesively hasn't put the albums together as well yet. So it's like the structure is there for Volume 1 to be a classic. He just hadn't learned how to put the album together. Like the guy that's making Volume 1 isn't the guy that's making the blueprint. He's a way better album maker. But the songs are there, Mike. It's just the missteps are more drastic because he's not the album maker yet.
Right. I mean, the B-sides actually carried that album. And,
that's what I mean.
And Dame says all the time that when songs like Sunshine and, You Belong to the Streets, City Is Mine, that's what it's called. Mm-hmm. When those songs didn't do what they thought it was going to do, they went and did Streets Is Watching, the movie, and they were able to use those B-sides as a foundation to keep their buzz up. So, yeah, the actual B-sides on Volume 1 kept that album and that record label at the time alive. Mad Max says, do KD1 have a No Church in the Wild or Otis?
Hold on. First of all, I've always said, like, for me, that Volume 1 is a classic. To me, it's the public that doesn't think Volume 1 is a classic. I hold Volume 1 higher than I hold Volume 2. Because if you want to go song for song, there's like 9 great songs on Volume 1.
There's no missteps on Volume 2, though.
That's what I mean. So, no. When people rate Jay's album, it usually goes Reasonable Doubt and or The Blueprint, depending on how you feel. And then we go to the Black Album. Right? And after the Black Album, people usually go to Volume 2 or American Gangster. And what I'm telling you is that, well, after I go Reasonable Doubt, Blueprint, Black Album, Volume 1. That's me. You feel me? So that's where I have Volume 1. Everybody doesn't have Volume 1 where I have Volume 1, because when I hear Volume 1, I hear about 5 definite classic songs and about another 5 songs behind it that aren't too far off the level and are pretty damn good.
But
so he's got about 9 to 10 great records on there. He doesn't have any other album like that.
You're a rap guy, and Jay-Z is still rapping at a very, very high level on Volume 1. He hadn't totally dumbed down his style yet. And I think that's probably why you hold Volume 1 very high. Understandably so. Because if you want to talk about like just spitting or whatever, there's no way in the world he's rapping at the level on Volume 2 that he is on Volume 1. It's just not.
I mean, Mike, he's not on that level on the Blueprint or the Black Album either. That's what I'm saying. And so when Jay
maybe
gets
the Black Album, maybe, but yeah.
How about this? How about this? Let me submit the conversation differently to you about how he is on Volume 1. His lyric, where he is held lyrically, is about Reasonable Doubt in Volume 1 more than anything else, because we're clear on who we heard on those 2 albums. Not just Reasonable Doubt. I'm going to say that again. Reasonable Doubt in Volume 1 is why he is held lyrically in the sphere that he is held in. Yeah. Not Reasonable Doubt. Reasonable Doubt in Volume 1. Because that guy does not exist on Volume 2, and you only see him really in moments after that.
You know, in Volume 2, he's kind of basking in the glory of his skill level from Reasonable Doubt in Volume 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
He literally starts off from, what he say, from coming up with some of the hottest verses rappers ever heard. Yeah. He's talking about, Mike, he's saying that after Volume 1. He's not saying that after Reasonable Doubt. Yeah, because people are coming up to him. It's like, you spitting some of the illest shit ever.
I mean, I say it all the time. I think his third verse on Streets Is Watching could possibly be his single best verse.
Mike, it could be that second. It could be the second verse on Imaginary Players. It could be the verse on Rhyme No More. It could be any of the verses on Where I'm From. It could be the second verse on You Must Love Me. He's there. You know what I'm saying? It could be the whole rundown on Friend or Foe 98, where it's like, oh, this nigga's not writing rhymes and he's rhyming for 2 minutes straight about like the backup into how this deal went down and what. Take 2 ice cubes, I passed him. Throw this ice up for the nicest MC. And please, yo, tell Big, he's unbelievable. Friend or foe, biatch. No, that guy's crazy and he's menacing. He's unforgiving.
Chris Daughtery with the super chat says, guys, I'm 48. Just do a Jay-Z and Nas classic albums against each other. Nas is going to win.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about it's like the Jay that people keep holding high. It's like, no, this is MCing. He got to this point off of Reasonable Doubt in Volume 1. That's what got him into Nas and Biggie and Tupac's conversation. Not hit making, MCing.
Yeah. Old Badly with the super chat says,
that shit. We're not forgetting that, and so Volume 1 needs to live. So I'm not the one that has a problem with Volume 1's classic status. People need to give it its classic status.
Old Badly with the super chat says, can't call Watch the Throne a W for Jay. Ye watched him on every song.
He did. That was the problem. This is what I'm talking about. When you go from Reasonable Doubt to Volume 1 to people talking about you in the same breath that they're talking about Nas, Big, and Pop, to you getting watched by somebody that people is looking like as your producer on the records that you're on him with, that's not classic shit going on, Mike.
Well, Ye is doing some classic stuff at that time. It's not like...
Ye is doing some classic stuff. It's a group album.
Yeah.
Where's Jay's classic shit on there?
Murder to Excellence?
That's the classic shit that everybody goes to. Where's the rest? It's a whole album, Mike.
I like Ye's performance on The Joy more than Jay's, too. And I think they both did great. But it was great. I was looking forward to hearing Jay and Pete Rock on the same track.
Jay's better on Murder to Excellence and on No Church in the Wild, in my opinion. And even No Church in the Wild, it's like the most famous line on there is Sunglasses and Advil. Last night was mad real. That's Ye's bars.
Even if you're going to Otis, it's like, I made Jesus walk, so I'm never going to hell.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, hold on. The other most famous part on there is Maybach stickery. What would Hova do? That's Ye's bars, though.
Witty, man. Chris Daughtery with the super chat says, also, Coop and Mike, Nas classics have significantly better play on it. Your Pat, Mike, he loses. I guess he meant you're right. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I think that, if a Leroy Green out there and everybody else, I would love to see another Jay-Z album so that we could throw it in this mix, and maybe I could take off, Unfinished Business, or add, Lost Tape to however that works. You know what I'm saying? But Andrew Green with the super chat says, to include all of Jay and Nas's work on a graphic, it needs to be 19 to 19 projects. Add Streets is Watching soundtrack, Everything is Love, and a written testimony for Jay. Add The Firm, Lost Tapes 2, and the QB's Finest for Nas. Fair? We can do that. Appreciate that, Andrew Green. Now, I think we can do that, but I still, based on just going off of that, it still looks like it's leaning more towards Nas's way. Uncle Fran with the super chat says, so for Illmatic and Magic, not all classics are created equal. Try the same barometer between, by the way, Magic and Illmatic, lyrically and beat-wise, and you'll see. You have too much urgency, Coop.
I'm missing like how that was framed. Like
he said, so for Illmatic and Magic, not all classics are created equal. Try the same barometer, I guess, between Magic and Illmatic, lyrically and beat-wise, and you will see. You have too much urgency, Coop. I guess he was just saying that, they're both classics, but not on the same trajectory.
Yeah, no, this is what I'm trying to say is that, no, watch, let's go, you think Watch the Throne is better than Black Star's first album?
That's a weird question.
No, it's not, because I think they're very comparable projects.
I think they are, too. I think,
remember what happened when we played the Black Star on Patreon? We found out that the highs were really high, but when you play the album from beginning to end, what you find is just a good rap album that gets mystified by the highs because the highs are ridiculously high. Now, we did that live on Patreon, and you were like, damn, Coop, you're right. You're like, this album really doesn't play like a classic. It plays like an album that has classic stuff on it. But if you're going from beginning to end, you can't say that this album is a classic because it doesn't stand to the likes of boom, 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 bam, and we can go down the line. Watch the Throne is no different.
This is what I'm going to say.
People got to stop objectifying and mystifying these albums because what they are, it's like when you graduate from high school and you do a time capsule. It's a time capsule piece. No, Watch the Throne was a moment. No, Black Star, Most Def and Talib Kweli present Black Star. No, that was a moment. But what I'm trying to tell everybody is that the moment was bigger than the music. And it's just a fact because you can go back and listen to the music and it's like, well, why ain't nobody playing this shit all the time? But we still talking about Illmatic and Reasonable Doubt, though.
Well, that's different eras. I mean...
And American Gangsta and the Black Album.
I was going to say some more. Tapes. I was going to say some more of Kanye's current stuff we talk about more. This is what I would say. And, when it comes to album making and, great albums, I think that people who watch the show, they know I'm really big on songs. Now, I'm big on the bars and all that stuff, too. But the way songs come together, I think, is more important. Now, if you got great bars in there, great. That takes it up to the next level. Then you got, The World Is Yours and shit like that. But when it comes to the Black Star album, and the question you asked me with that and Watch the Throne, obviously the rapping is better on the Black Star album. But are the songs better collectively from end to end? I don't think so. I don't. You know what I mean? And y'all are going to kill me for that, I'm sure. Obviously, Most Def's verse on Thieves of the Night is going to be better than every verse on Watch the Throne.
No. I'm not going to kill you for that. But here's what I'm going to tell you. How about this? I want you, and we just played the Black Star album, okay? I mean, I'm talking, I want Mike D's list. I don't want the objective list. What were the best 5 songs that you heard on that Black Star album?
Respiration by far. Right?
Okay, so start right there. So stop. Yeah. Respiration 1. Now, what's the best song that you heard on Watch the Throne?
To me, it was The Joy.
Now, look at the level, Mike. Respiration and The Joy. What's the better record, Mike?
Respiration is.
It's not even a conversation, is it?
No.
Now, we just played that Black Star album, Mike, and you literally admitted to me that it's like, well, when you play this from beginning to end, it doesn't come off like a classic. Now, unless the rest of Watch the Throne is at the level of The Joy, there is no way that it can be dubbed as a classic because we're already starting at the top.
Well, what
and
I was going to say,
and The Joy is not a conversation.
I think that the other records on Watch the Throne are much closer to The Joy than, I mean, more debatable with The Joy than everything else on the Black Star is with Respiration.
Okay, so run it down there. That's what I'm saying. So this is what I'm saying. So how about this? So name your top 5 songs on the Black Star album.
I'm going to say Respiration. I'm going to say Brown Skin Lady. Then I'm going to say Definition.
Yep.
Then I'll go Thieves in the Night.
Yep.
And Thief in the Night. I think Redefinition might be my number 5.
Okay. Now, listen to the records that you just named. Now, name the top 5 Watch the Throne records. That's what I'm saying. It's like...
I would say The Joy, Murder to Excellence. I'm going to go Otis. I'm also going to go,
probably Niggas in Paris.
I mean, that beat's stupid. Hit Boy beat's stupid. Niggas in Paris and No Church in the Wild.
Right. Oh, that's comparable level.
Yeah.
We just played the Black Star album, Mike. It didn't play like a classic. That's all I'm saying. It's not like the album's not dope. It's not like it doesn't have extremely high moments. It's not like it doesn't have great shit. But when you're talking about a classic, Mike, I want you to understand that even Ready to Die has Friend of Mine. Even The Blueprint has Hola Ho Vito and Jigga That Nigga and Renegade. Even It Was Written has, apparently y'all have a problem with Nas Is Coming. You know what I'm saying? And some people have a problem with Black Girl Lost. Right. Personally, I like hearing Nas rap over Dr. Dre beats. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Even what's the shit on Paid in Full where the beat just playing Chinese arithmetic, Mike?
Mm-hmm.
Don't nobody play Chinese arithmetic off Paid in Full?
No, that's real.
Mike, when you play Paid in Full, Mike, you play Chinese arithmetic. When the last time you played Chinese arithmetic from beginning to end?
Unless I'm just up and doing
unless you're just up and just riding, or you're doing something else, and you're like, oh, okay.
And I can't get to, change it, but yeah.
Right, that's what I'm saying. And so there are very few rap albums, Mike, where there are no skips.
I don't skip anything on Akumina.
Mike, I was literally thinking, and Mike, and this is why I hold Illmatic, Aquemini, and the Purple Tape, and Doggy Style, and It Takes a Nation a Million so high. That's why I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, and Paid in Full in there too, right after that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, no, I can play Illmatic all the way through.
Yeah.
Well, no, I can play Aquemini and the Purple Tape all the way through. It takes
I can play Daytona
millions.
all the way through. I know people. I can play Daytona all the way through. I know people say things about the fact that it's only 7 songs.
Don't do that right now, Mike. When we're doing this, don't do that to people right now. But that's what I'm saying is like, so if you want to start nuancing, like the highest of the high in the rap classic of the rap classics, Mike. That's why I told you it's like, well, if you just count the first half of All Eyes on Me as a rap album, that's a top 10 rap album easy, Mike, because damn near every song on there is a classic and there is not a bad song.
No, that's
which
real.
means it would belong in Doggy Style, Purple Tape, Aquemini, Illmatic, It Takes a Nation territory. Not even, Mike, it wouldn't even belong in low end into the Wu-Tang territory. It would like belong ahead of that. Because What's Your Phone Number is literally the only song on there that's not classic.
But it was a double disc, so it is what it is.
But it was a double disc, so it is what it is. Correct.
Jay Short says, Volume 3 have the last word. Does Volume 3 have a last words, Project Window, A Life We Chose? It has a Big Pimpin'. It has a So Ghetto.
It has Come and Get Me and So Ghetto.
Yeah.
Hold on. Here's what I'll give him. Come and Get Me is produced by Timbaland. It's the only time I heard Timbaland get gritty, anything beat-wise in that time. Fuck Big Pimpin'. He got Timbaland to do Come and Get Me, and he's got Primo with So Ghetto at the top. And that's what I mean. It's like, no. He makes classic shit every album almost.
Nigga, they made Snoopy track on there, too. And they made Hot as Hot.
Snoopy track.
Snoopy track is crazy. I remember we used to play that beat over and over. Like, what the fuck is Tim?
A lot of people don't know this. How about this, Mike?
You need to use that in your verses, too.
Hold on, Mike. You probably know this. Snoopy track got as much play in the club as Do It Again and Big Pimpin' did when it came out.
Snoopy track.
That was the banger from the album that everybody played.
This is for my niggas down here on Candy Paint. Put the niggas in the dirty South Miami, Maine. 4-5, The Hero says Jay-Z's verse on Gangsta Shit by DJ Clue was crazy. Yeah, that's that conversational Jay. I understand why y'all niggas is mad at me. Looking like, damn, that could be me. All the ice, jewelries, y'all niggas ain't bad as me. What he say was like, shit, J-I-double-G-A, Pawn the Platinum. No, he said, nah, dang, I never go broke. My name got 2 G's.
I know what verse you're talking about. I ain't heard that verse in forever.
He said, no, I never go broke. My name got 2 G's. J-I, 2-G-A. I flip that, pawn the platinum, and be on the next day. Whew. Yeah, that's that conversational Jay. That's what he has over most people. That conversational shit, that puts him in a league of his own. He's not the best storyteller.
How about this? The other top level lyricists are not as conversational except for Big, and we didn't get enough material from Big.
I don't think.
How about this? Big and Jay and Pac are more charismatic than the rest of them. Like, you know that, right? There's a gap between their level of charisma and like the next most charismatic guy. And so a lot of the reason why those guys get held so high is it's like you're more drawn in by those three guys. Like charisma-wise, those guys are somewhere else than any other rapper has ever been. That's Wayne, 50, whoever you got. Like, no, those three guys, charisma-wise, they're fucking different.
Andrew Green with the super chat says Nas edges Jay's classic material, but Jay's mid-tier stuff is better than Nas, to be honest. A valid way to do a versus with this is to rank their albums individually and go head-to-head in that order, not released order. So you mean quality order, start from the bottom up. 4-5 Hero with the super chat says, the barometer for classic is all over the place these days. Sure is. We don't know. We don't know. We just know it when we hear it.
How about this? I think classics kind of label themselves every era. So let's let's run it down right quick. So if you have
let me say one thing. I do think it matters how people take in music, and that's why we're having such an issue with this No Fear of Time. And the way people take in music has to do a lot with its classic ability, you know?
No, that's why I told you, Mike, we can't name this album of the year, because if hip hop is really in the streets and about the streets and for the people have to have access to it. That's that same issue that I took with the NFL putting the game on Amazon Prime. It's like, oh, well, you're taking it out of the people's hands who are impoverished. And the NFL can do that because it wasn't started off by the impoverished, but hip hop was. You feel me? And that's why I have a problem with No Fear of Time. I don't have a problem with music. I don't have a problem with Yasin. I don't have a problem with Talib. I don't have a problem with Madlib. I have a problem with the way that they approached it, because they keep saying that it's for the people, and that's some bullshit. It's for you. At least be honest with the people and don't lie to them and be like, hey, this is for me because this is how I want to run it. Respect it. Because guess what? You know who used to do that? Prince, when he started selling stuff online, or when he was writing Slave on his face, he's like, no, I don't need you to agree with me. Understand this is how I'm running it now. If you don't want to run with me, I understand. But the juxtaposition that this is for the people when it's blatantly for you and we don't have access to it, and hip hop started in the motherfucking streets, Mike.
Good. Man with the super chat says Nas was ordained to rap. Jay was a hustler that can rap and use it to get ahead. He was never the better MC over Nas, in my opinion, except for sales. Nas still best.
I've been called a hater my whole life for saying that.
Chris Daughtery with the super chat says, Coop, I'm saying if you play that Jay and Nas classic, the machine don't control Nas music, in my opinion. Nas music has aged significantly better. Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to know, how about this? As far as the MCs are concerned, if I was picking my favorite Jay and Nas records, for both of them, Mike, half the records would come from the first two albums, easy, and probably more than that. Like for me. Mm-hmm. Like for me, I could just go off of Reasonable Doubt in Volume 1 and Illmatic, and It Was Written, and come up with most of my playlist for whatever it was, because who they are as MCs is right there. It's like you can talk about the stardom, you can talk about the legacy, You can talk about the other stuff. There's a thing called a foundation, Mike. Like, you have to have a foundation to stuff. And foundation is where legacies and legends are built. Their foundation and their legacy as MCs is on their first 2 albums because it is where their best lyrical work is at. Their job is to MC. So it's like all the other stuff after that is like really extra shit. Both of them got about 15 to 20 classic songs just on the first 2 albums. It's just juxtaposed differently. Like, Jay's not the album maker that Nas is on the second album, but Jay also doesn't have the track masters. He's got Puff part-time after Big died, and him and Dame is still figuring it out. It's not the same game getting played.
I agree. Well, you know what? We'll leave that there. I did want to go on to the other topic, right?
Yeah, I want to talk about... Hey, I want to say something. Jordan House said something, too. Mm-hmm. We're going to do, like, this Nas and Jay thing, but can we make it a point to, like... And I love them. I love them both to death. But can we just, like, start moving past it and talking about them a little bit less?
A little less? Yeah, no, we can't.
Yeah, like I would love to talk about Scarface and Ice Cube and doing that versus that we were talking about on the Patreon a little more, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, yeah, let's give Scarface and Ice Cube some burn for me. I've been dying to give Face some run since we started this podcast, and he's currently like retiring right now. So it's like, let's just keep those things in mind. It's like we know who's number 1 and number 2, however you have it. Shout out to Rakim and KRS and G-Rap and Big and Pac, but everybody knows who number 1 and number 2 is at this point.
No, that's real. But again, we delve into the albums, delve into the lyrics, and I just thought it would just make sense to let people know we're not playing favorites and put the actual music out there. I mean, this is what it's about. Because again, but I feel you.
Like, I love Volume 1 more than I love Black Album and The Blueprint, but I'm not a fool. I don't think it's better. He's a better song maker. He's a better album maker. His flow is wicked nasty on there. On the Black Album. Like, his flow is somewhere else that it's not on Reasonable Doubt in Volume 1 on the Black Album. And I can respect that and I can appreciate that. But that nigga that's on Where I'm From, Imaginary Player, that's the guy you're afraid of. I'm not afraid of the guy that's doing 99 Problems, Mike. As an MC, it's like, oh no, that's so great. You've become this wonderful songwriter. The dude that's on Imaginary Players had motherfuckers afraid of how he MC'd, Mike. It's like, oh, if he's going to talk like that, I don't stand a chance. And you didn't.
Reggie says, are there any known unreleased Jay-Z albums or works? It's a good question. Somebody also said, can we also retire Kendrick and Lupe as well? Y'all are wild.
I haven't been talking about Lupe. And when I have talked about Lupe, I've been rather kind, except for the fact that he wasn't aware that Shakespeare was a biter and a thief. But